Audiobooks.com Publishing presents an unabridged recording of On Trails by Robert Moor, read for you by Jason Grasl. Once, years ago, I left home looking for a grand adventure and spent 5 months staring at mud. It was the spring of 2009, and I had set out to walk the full length of the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. My departure date was timed so that I would transition seamlessly from a mild southern spring to a balmy northern summer, but for some reason, the warmth never arrived. It stayed cool that year, rained often. Newspapers likened it to the freak summer of 1816, when cornfields froze to their roots, pink snow fell over Italy, and a young Mary Shelley, locked up in a gloomy villa in Switzerland, began to dream of monsters. My memories of the hike consist chiefly of wet stone and black earth. The vistas from many of the mountaintops were blotted out. Shrouded in mist, rain hood up, eyes downcast, mile after mile, month after month, I had little else to do but study the trail beneath my nose with Talmudic intensity. In his novel, The Dharma Bums, Jack Kerouac refers to this kind of walking as the meditation of the trail. Jaffe Ryder, a character modeled after the Zen poet Gary Snyder, advises his friend to walk along looking at the trail at your feet, and don't look about and just fall into a trance as the ground zips by. Trails are seldom looked at this intently. When hikers want to complain about a particularly rough stretch of trail, we gripe that we spent the whole day looking down at our feet. We prefer to look up, away, off into the distance. Ideally, a trail should function like a discreet aid, gracefully ushering us through the world while still preserving our sense of agency and independence. Perhaps this is why, for virtually all of literary history, trails have remained in the periphery of our gaze, down at the bottommost edge of the frame. They have been, quite literally, beneath our concern. As hundreds and then thousands of miles of trail passed beneath my eyes, I began to ponder the meaning of this endless scrawl. Who created it? Why does it exist? Why, moreover, does any trail? Even after I reached the end of the AT, these questions followed me around. Spurred on by them and sensing in some vague way that they might lead to new intellectual ground, I began to search for the deeper meaning of trails. I spent years looking for answers, which led me to yet bigger questions. Why did animal life begin to move in the first place? How does any creature start to make sense of the world? Why do some individuals lead and others follow? How did we humans come to mold our planet into its current shape? Piece by piece, I began to cobble together a panoramic view of how pathways act as an essential guiding force on this planet. On every scale of life, from microscopic cells to herds of elephants, creatures can be found relying on trails to reduce an overwhelming array of options to a single expeditious route. Without trails, we would be lost. My quest to find the nature of trails often proved trickier than I had expected. Modern hiking trails loudly announce their presence with brightly painted signs and blazes, but older trails are more inconspicuous. The footpaths of some ancient indigenous societies, like the Cherokee, were no more than a few inches wide. When Europeans invaded North America, they slowly widened parts of the native trail network, first to accommodate horses, then wagons, then automobiles. Now, much of that framework is buried beneath modern roadways, though remnants of the old trail system can still be found when you know where and how to look. Other trails are yet more obscure. The trails of some woodland mammals dimple the underbrush so faintly that only an experienced tracker can point them out. Ants nose along chemical pathways that are wholly invisible. One trick to seeing them, I learned, is to sprinkle the area with lycopodium, the same powder police use to dust for fingerprints. A few trails are tucked away underground. Termites and naked mole rats carve tunnels through the earth, marking them with traces of pheromones to keep their bearings. Finer still are the tangled neural pathways within a single human brain, which are so multitudinous that even the world's most advanced computers cannot yet map them all. Technology, meanwhile, is busy knitting itself into an intricate network of pathways, dug deep underfoot and strung ethereally overhead, so that information can race across continents. I learned that the soul of a trail, its trailness, is not bound up in dirt and rocks. It is immaterial, evanescent, as fluid as air. The essence lies in its function, how it continuously evolves to serve the needs of its users. We tend to glorify trailblazers, those hardy souls who strike out across uncharted territory, both figurative and physical. But followers play an equally important role in creating a trail. They shave off unnecessary bends and brush away obstructions, improving the trail with each trip.